What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. As you all know, this is mainly a firearms channel. That's what I like to do the most, but we've experimented with a lot of different things over the last few years, and I'm down to try any self-defense tool at least once. And today, we've got one that's definitely gonna be a first. So I grew up loving martial arts, watching all the movies, and ninjas are among the most elite martial artists, at least in the movies. And there's one weapon that always stuck out more than the rest that I knew I would eventually try one day, and of course, I'm talking about the Ninja Star. So when I looked these up, I learned that there are several different names for them that I hadn't seen before. Shuriken or Shuriken is one that I saw quite a bit, and the history is way more complicated than I thought it was, but apparently there were real-world applications for these Ninja Stars, and again, in the movies, they seem to be very effective, and they take people out like crazy. So today, I wanna see if you were to actually use a Ninja Star for self-defense, would it work? And how effective would it really be? So we'll go ahead and give you guys a close-up look at this thing. We do have two Ninja Stars. We're gonna start with this one. Now this is the lighter weight of the two, but it's also the sharper of the two. And you can see just how sharp those edges actually are. And it does have a good bit of weight to it. So this is a legitimate Ninja Star. So we're gonna hit several different targets with it and see how much damage we can actually cause with this thing. I haven't even thrown a baseball since I was like 15. I'm kind of excited to get out here and loosen the old wing up a little bit. Full disclosure, I have never thrown a Ninja Star in my life, so these are probably not gonna be the best results. I'm just gonna try to get one really good hit on each of these targets, and hopefully I don't miss, because they say if you hit something hard, they can be kind of brittle and break, so we're gonna try our best. But before we get started, guys, I wanna quickly tell you about my friends at JX Tactical, because let's face it, most of us are not ninjas, and a firearm is gonna be your best bet for self-defense. And the most important accessory for any self-defense gun is a good holster. So JX Tactical makes quality holsters right here in the USA. They actually sent me this one for my Glock 19, which I'm loving so far. You can see it's got the optic cut, cool camo pattern, and most importantly, it keeps the gun secure, no matter how hard you shake it, so your gun will never fall out. Looking at their website, one of their best sellers appears to be the Fat Guy, which is a comfortable holster for all different body types. So those of you with a little extra tactical padding around the midsection, there's finally a comfortable appendix carry holster for you as well, and it's called the Fat Guy. Again, JX Tactical, thank you so much for sponsoring the video. Don't forget to check out the website, guys. Now let's get back to me pretending to be a ninja and playing with weapons I have no business using. All right, we're moving over here with a backstop because I threw one and missed, and it took me like 30 minutes to find in all those leaves. So I don't want to be too close just in case it ricochets, but I obviously don't want to be far away because I suck. So let's see if we can hit him here. Close. Whoa, it did not go into the rubber dummy. That is crazy. I thought for sure it would go into him. That was a hard throw and a direct hit too. There we go. First try. I'm kind of starting to realize these smaller targets are gonna be really hard to hit because that rubber dummy took me like 5 tries and that thing's humongous. But here is where it went in, right on the nipple. And I would say that blade is maybe halfway. It's in there pretty good. I don't know why the first one didn't stick unless it hit it at an angle or, you know, didn't directly hit it with the blade, because that one is in there good. And would not put you down or kill you, but I wouldn't want to get hit with it. All right, now this is a 6-point star, and this one they called a professional Ninja Star. It's way heavier and way thicker, but to me it doesn't feel quite as sharp. You can see how thick those blades are, and this one is at least twice as heavy as the other one. So heavier, but less sharp. I don't know which is more important. Let's find out. I threw that dang near as hard as I could. So we actually have some white on that blade that's right there on top, where it clearly went into the rubber dummy, but it bounced out. The blades might be a little too thick for that rubber. Well, it wouldn't be a self-defense video if we didn't see what they can do to a watermelon. So let's try it. We'll go ahead and start with our 6-point star for this one. Sliced it right on top. Now that might have actually been pretty effective because it like scalped the top of the watermelon and put a humongous gash in that thing. So I can't pull it apart and show you, but I can see down in there, hopefully you guys can too. It went several inches and definitely damaged the meat inside that watermelon, and we just have a huge gash right along the top, and then it hit the railroad tie and took a chunk out of that as well. Here's our Ninja Star, covered in watermelon juice, but it didn't break, and I would say that is a pretty good result. And the sound that it made when it just sliced right through that was nasty. All right, I would say the 6-point star definitely passed the watermelon test. Let's try the 5-point star and see if it does any better. Damn. That's the first one that we've had stick into the railroad tie like that, and that would be pretty effective. That was about 1.5 feet away from our watermelon, so it was a terrible throw, but still very impressive how far it went into the railroad tie. If that was a head, that would suck. Ooh. There we go. So what's interesting about that one is it did the exact same thing as our 6-point star. Our 6-point star hit right there and then went all the way through to the back. And our 5-point star sliced it there and stopped about halfway through. But you can see that star is pretty deep in that watermelon, and it did some damage. Now, is it as effective as something like a gun? No, but if you are really good with them, you might be able to, freak someone out or get them to leave you alone, especially if you were a ninja and you could place them properly. But with me throwing these things, I would not put my money on a Ninja Star for self-defense. Well, you all know that we can't let watermelons survive on this channel, so let's go ahead and compare the difference between a Ninja Star and an actual gun. This is the Winchester 1897 slam fire shotgun, also known as the trench gun. I would say the Ninja Star is a lot quieter, but the shotgun is way more effective. All right, guys, now it's time for the moment of truth, what you're all probably here to see, the ballistic dummy lab head. So we've used these quite a bit on the channel. Most of you have probably seen them. I would say this is the most realistic thing you can use to test weapons for self-defense. So I've got this one screwed into this piece of wood from the bottom. So it cannot move, it's locked in place, and when these Ninja Stars hit it, we should get a pretty accurate result. So big guns typically just destroy these things, but a couple weeks ago, I shot one with a crossbow and realized how tough they actually are because it was stopping crossbow bolts from going all the way through. So pretty realistic and definitely the best thing you can use to test stuff like this for self-defense. What's funny is this is actually a zombie head. So they make human heads and zombie heads, and we recently had a big heat wave come through, and when this was being shipped, it dang near melted in the mail, and it actually made it look more like a zombie, which is kind of funny. So you can see all the deformed ballistics gel. With a human head, that wouldn't be good, but since it's a zombie, it actually looks pretty dang cool. So is a Ninja Star a good self-defense weapon? Let's find out. Now, since this is the most important test, I'm just gonna try and throw this thing about as hard as I can and hope I get lucky at least once, because I wanna see what it would actually do. So we're gonna start with the lighter weight 5-point star, see what this does, and then we'll get out the heavier professional 6-point star. Fingers crossed that it don't bounce back at us. Smoked it. So that was about the best throw I could have ever hoped to get. I threw it extremely hard and nailed it right in the forehead, and it still did not stick. So I hope you guys can see the damage that it caused. It did leave a humongous gash, and it even broke the skull. There's a pretty big hole there, and some of that skull you can see is breaking off. So it did do damage, but did not stick. Our star is down here in the ground. Obviously it's still intact, so perfect hit, but not the result I was hoping for. Again, I'm not saying that that wouldn't hurt and be very effective. It literally penetrated the skull, but it's not like the movies where they stick and people just drop like flies. So let's try it again. Yes! Now that is a solid hit. So I had a mechanic's glove on and I couldn't really feel the star, and I thought, let me take it off. And literally as soon as I did, I smoked him right in the eyeball, and that is a good result from the Ninja Star. I mean, it is blade deep in that thing's eyeball. It's actually a little bit to the side of the eyeball, more towards the orbital bone, I guess it is. It's kind of in between the orbital bone and the middle of the eyeball. I can actually see down in there, right there, the tip of that blade. I mean, it is, you know, all the way in there. And as you can see, huge gash in the flesh, and we've got some broken bones in there as well. So that could actually work for self-defense. If you could do that with a Ninja Star every single time, I would say it might be a good choice. I clearly suck with these things, so I would never use it. I like the 5-point star because it allows for more penetration. There's obviously not as many blades, and it can go deeper. So I really wanted to get one to stick, and I'm glad we actually did it in the eyeball. That was pretty sweet. All right, now we're gonna try the professional 6-point star. I don't see how we're gonna top that, but we'll give it a shot. Ooh, now that was nasty. It went straight to the side and just peeled his face off. All right, if that didn't stick, I don't think any of them will. Turn him sideways. We'll go ahead and try this. Nope. I'm gonna try it sidearm. Dang. Oh! Ooh. Finally got through to the inside. Well, we finally had one go deep enough to get some of that green zombie blood out of there. There was actually already a hole right there, and then we hit the same spot again, and that's when it finally punctured it. So it took 2 shots, but it did go deep enough. There's a ton of marks on this thing. Obviously, I'm not gonna put them all in the video, but the 6-point star did have some impressive impacts. We broke the skull up here several times. I would say the most impressive one was this over here, when it just skinned that whole right side completely off. We knocked his tooth out, hit him in the bridge of the nose. Obviously quite a few throws, but the 5-point star is definitely better at sticking than the 6-point star. It bounced off almost every time. So a Ninja Star would absolutely not be my first choice for self-defense, but if you really knew what you were doing and you needed to be extremely quiet, it could probably work. But other than that, I would say no. All right, well, we saw what those Ninja Stars will do to a zombie head. Not too bad, but not extremely impressive. Now let's try a real self-defense weapon. So this is my Henry lever action 4570, and we're shooting this monster out of it. So it should basically explode that head. Now that is a proper self-defense weapon. Well, it literally unwrapped all the flesh from the skull, which is a first. I've never seen this result on one of these heads. And now we can actually kind of see some of those marks from our Ninja Star. It's hard to tell what's what because the 4570 obviously did most of it, and inside there's just nothing left. We all knew the 4570 was a very powerful rifle, and that is why I would always pick a gun over something like a Ninja Star, because they're just better. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me today. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed our video on Ninja Stars. Like I said, I'm really up to try anything, and nothing's off limits on this channel. I like to, you know, just experiment with different self-defense tools, and the Ninja Star was one that I had never tried before. So I can't say I'm overly impressed. I was excited to finally get one to stick in the eyeball like that. And it's cool, you know, I can't deny that. But as far as real self-defense, I personally would never choose something like a Ninja Star. I'm much more competent with firearms. So either way, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this. I'd be glad to hear from you guys as always. If you like the video, please let me know down in the comments below and hit that like button for me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.